The Tesla Model Y is seemingly the most boring vehicle in the company lineup. It doesn't have the sleek sports car lines of the Model S and Model 3, it doesn't have the theatrical flash of falcon wing doors like the Model X, but is the Model Y the most important vehicle for Tesla? In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the vehicle that dethroned the Toyota Corolla as the world's best-selling car, and exploring some new features that will make the Model Y even better in 2024. The interesting thing about the Model Y is that Tesla has used this vehicle as an experimental platform for nearly the entire life of the product. Model Y was Tesla's first implementation of large casting components when it was released in spring 2020. By later that year, the Model Y was upgraded to single-piece castings in the rear end courtesy of Tesla's first Gigapress machine. The year after that, we started to see full front-end Gigacast for the first time, and in 2022, the Model Y was the first Tesla to receive 4680 battery cells and the company's structural battery pack. So, all that to say that the Model Y is a vehicle in a constant state of evolution, and that can make it a bit tricky to ever know what you're going to get when you click that order button, because we all know that Tesla does not do model years the way that average car makers would. They're much more apt to just make a significant production change on the fly without really giving much notice or explanation. So, here's the way things look on the Tesla website as of right now. The Model Y is currently available to order as one of three variants, starting with the single-motor rear-wheel drive Model Y. With a claimed 260 miles of range, this variant starts at around $44,000. It undercuts the now discontinued standard all-wheel drive variant by almost $5,000. The next version in the lineup is the dual-motor all-wheel drive long-range variant, which gets an improved 330-mile estimated range and starts at almost $50,000. And for roughly $3,000 more, you can get the Model Y all-wheel drive Performance. Estimated range on this drops to 303 miles, but it can now sprint to 60 miles an hour from a standstill in 3.5 seconds. Top speed sees a bump as well, going from 135 miles per hour on the other two variants to 155, which is very impressive for a car that still weighs over 4,300 pounds. However, where your Model Y is being manufactured can have an impact on the range your car comes with, specifically the entry-level rear-wheel drive variant. Cars manufactured at Gigafactory Texas in the United States have an estimated 260-mile range, but cars manufactured at Gigafactory Shanghai in China see a drop in range to 245 miles. This is important to be aware of because Teslas made in China are no longer just destined for the Asia-Pacific region anymore. For example, if I buy a Model Y rear-wheel drive in Canada, I'll receive a vehicle made in China even though I'm physically much closer to Texas than I am to Shanghai. So why is Tesla selling the same car with two different ranges? Well, the answer is battery chemistry. The cars being produced in China are using the lithium iron phosphate battery pack, while those coming from Texas are using the nickel cobalt aluminum battery pack. Okay, without making this a battery pack video, here's what you need to know about these two types of batteries. Tesla has always been using NCA battery packs in their vehicles. They are energy dense, can charge quickly, and serve the purpose of an electric vehicle very well. But nickel and cobalt are expensive materials and usually have ethical concerns attached to their mining. To solve this dilemma, the LFP battery was introduced. While the raw materials needed for its production are far cheaper and easier to acquire, it does have an energy density that is up to 30% less than the NCA battery packs. And that is at the heart of the lower range achieved by LFP-equipped Model Ys. So, while the USA Model Y order page still lists the NCA battery range, Tesla's European and Canadian operations are only selling the LFP versions manufactured in China. Speaking of batteries, the Model Y used to be available for a short period of time with Tesla's new 4680 battery cell and structural battery pack in the Model Y all-wheel drive variant. But with that version no longer available to order, there are still very few available to buy from Tesla inventory, but it looks like we won't be seeing that particular battery option for the Model Y return anytime soon. It's fair to assume that all 4680 cells have been redirected towards the Cybertruck and upcoming customer deliveries. But this doesn't mean that the dream of an ultra-high performance 4680 powered Model Y is dead, it's just in hibernation. We'll come back to new feature predictions in just a minute. On the face of it, the Model Y might appear to be the most boring of the Tesla lineup, but the numbers tell a completely different story. Early in 2023, the Model Y became the United States' second best-selling car for the year, with only the Ford F-150 pickup truck having higher sales. Tesla broke a 35-year record in Iceland by becoming the best-selling car with 1,316 Model Ys sold. It also became Australia's best-selling car in June 2023. Over in Denmark, it broke another record for most sales in a year. The crowning glory, though? The Tesla Model Y is the world's best-selling car for the first half of 2023, and it looks set to maintain that position till the end of the year. Not just electric cars, but all cars. It's beating the Toyota Corolla and 4 other Toyotas in the top 5. That's not just a huge achievement for the Model Y, but for electric cars in general. EV acceptance is at an all-time high. Now, let's talk about the potential for the Model Y in 2024, because we know that some major changes are coming across the board, and there are even a few that have already arrived overseas. This is expected to dovetail with Tesla's major refresh of the Model 3, which is often referred to as the Model 3 Highland. It is the most drastic visual redesign of any Tesla vehicle yet, but the Highland update also brings in a wide-ranging new feature set for Tesla's mid-tier platform. Naturally, we would expect the Model Y to follow suit with the same exterior and interior redesign as the Model 3, since both vehicles share a very similar platform. The fully refreshed Model Y is often referred to as Project Juniper, but unlike the early Highland prototypes, there have been 0 sightings of a redesigned Model Y in the real world. Though we have gathered some evidence that Highland features are slowly making their way into Model Y production at Giga Shanghai. Tesla recently unveiled a soft update to the Model Y in China, with deliveries commencing in the fourth quarter of 2023. The update includes a redesigned set of black 19-inch wheels, new ambient LED lighting, and textile replacing the wood trim on the dashboard. The car is also now equipped with Tesla's Hardware 4.0 self-driving computer, which promises improved autonomous driving capabilities through higher quality cameras, faster processing power, and a high-definition radar unit. Reports also state a reduction in noise, vibration, and harshness levels in the updated car, likely coming from an upgraded suspension system. And this all matches up with what we've already seen in the Model 3 Highland. But there is one very fascinating standout feature for this new Model Y that we can't quite put our finger on. Tesla's China website lists the 0 to 60 miles an hour time for the rear-wheel drive variant at 5.9 seconds. That's an improvement from 6.6 seconds in the non-updated cars, or a 14.5% increase in acceleration performance. Instinctively, we might go first to the battery pack for an explanation. We know that Chinese Teslas have access to a much wider range of products from nearby battery partner CATL, who has been making significant advancements in LFP battery technology over the past few years. But the performance upgrade seems to be limited to acceleration, while range on the standard vehicle only increased by 1.7%. That's likely attributed to the more aerodynamic new wheel design than it is to any battery change. So it's possible that Tesla is experimenting with a new and more powerful drive unit in the Model Y at Giga Shanghai. Currently, these updated vehicles are only listed for sale in China, but with Gigafactory Shanghai now manufacturing the majority of Model Ys for the world, we can expect to see these filter to the rest of Tesla's market before a major model revamp. Okay, now let's spend a little more time with that idea of a Model Y redesign. It's fair to say that the Project Juniper Model Y will get all of the new features and changes from the Model 3 Highland. Most noticeable is that crisp new line straight across the front bumper and the lower drag coefficient that it brings, plus the compact headlights and taillights. Moving to the interior, the biggest change is the redesigned steering wheel with the capacitive touch controls taken from the Model S and Model X, and of course the removal of the control stalks with those functions transferred to touch controls on either the steering wheel or the center screen. So we are left with one big question. Will Tesla dare to go one step further with the Model Y? This vehicle may have started off as a plus-sized Model 3 with a hatchback, but in the time since its release, Tesla has been steadily differentiating the Model Y into something that is very much its own vehicle. We have come to expect a little more from the Model Y. And for one brief shining moment, we saw a preview of what that vehicle could be. Front and rear gigacastings linked by a structural battery pack and loaded with Tesla's new 4680 battery cell format. In theory, the new cell and pack design was going to add 30% more range with even higher power output. It was going to improve handling, rigidity, and safety, while at the same time decreasing the vehicle weight, speeding up production time, and reducing manufacturing costs. Essentially, the perfect electric car. In practice, though, Tesla's first attempt at a 4680 Model Y was worse in just about every performance metric, and it didn't even cost very much less than a normal Model Y. So there's a reason they stopped making these things and are still struggling to offload the last few that are kicking around the factory. The company got ahead of themselves and put out a vehicle before it was ready. The 4680 battery cells just were not ready for mass production. But if we are looking at Elon Musk's recent optimism with the release of the Cybertruck, he's talking about moving pretty quickly to a level of building 200,000 trucks per year, then it would stand to reason that Tesla believes they will have the batteries to back that up. So if we combine that with this new electric motor that Tesla seems to be experimenting with in Shanghai, then maybe the reason that Project Juniper seems to be moving at a much slower pace is that Tesla has a little bit more going on than just a new bumper and some headlights. Maybe the new Model Y is more like a new car altogether, the evolution of the electric vehicle that we were promised so many years ago at Battery Day. 2024 is shaping up to be a very big year, so you better stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, please consider supporting us directly on Patreon and hit the like button. If content like this starts to perform well for us, then we can continue to make a lot more high quality videos for you in the future.